Hi, everyone. You are listening to Beyond, and I'm your host, Dr. Flora. Listen, life is hard. You don't have to do it alone. As a mindset coach, physician, mom, and an infertility warrior, I have mastered techniques to help move you towards contentment and growth. I can't wait to go along with this crazy ass life journey with you while making sure you feel like your best self. This podcast is meant to have you feel unstuck from your rut and less alone. Let's do this. All right, it's January. Everyone is excited about their New Year's resolution. Everyone's talking about what goals they're going to be achieving in the year 2025. But up to 90% of us won't achieve it. Why? Why? I want you to think back. How many times have you gotten swept away in making all of these larger than life goals in the new year? Like, oh, I'm going to go plant-based now, or I'm going to lose 10 pounds, or I'm going to walk 12,000 steps a day. Then you just kind of forget about it in a couple weeks. Or like a month into the new year, life hits and you say to yourself, I'll skip walking this week because it's a busy season at work, or I'm going on vacation, or my kid is sick. I mean, the excuses are endless. So let's take it back to the basics because, again, me and you, we're not going to be a part of that statistic. What is goal setting? The definition of goal setting, according to the American Psychological Association, is the process that establishes specific time-based behavior that are measurable, achievable, and realistic. I want you to notice, take note of how this definition breaks this process down into measurable, achievable, realistic goals. Take note how the definition said nothing about a list of desires, a list of fantasies, or broad statements. This should give you a clue on why so many people get derailed. There are a multitude of reasons of why people can't achieve their goals, but a lot of the times it's just a mixture of a bunch of things. Sometimes our goals are too broad, too vague, not really planned well, not based on a purpose. Sometimes it's dictated by an outsider. Sometimes we have too many goals. Other times we are swept away in comparison culture. Sometimes our negative voices are too loud, or we try to do it all without any delegation or without any support. Or sometimes you make these large goals, but you don't keep track of your progress, or you don't celebrate your wins. So you get frustrated and you just give up. Most importantly, we are approaching these goals without developing our gratitude trait, and that poses a hindrance. Now, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I want you to stop. Listen to last week's podcast episode about toxic gratitude so you can be ready for your goal setting. The reasons I just mentioned really help explain how complicated goal setting can be and goal achievement can be. We have inherent obstacles, we have external obstacles, but you are here to set yourself up for success. And you may not know how to set your own goals, or maybe you need help on tweaking your goal setting process. This is why I wanted to write this episode. I have fallen prey so many times to all of the reasons that contribute to goal achievement failure. So now for myself, keep a list of my goal setting weaknesses so I know how to hold myself accountable so I don't keep making the same stupid mistake over and over again. And I'm going to help you do the same. In this episode, together, we are going to break down this whole process for you so you can set your goals appropriately and actually achieve them. What you are not going to do is be a part of that 90% goal setting failure stat. We are going to be that 10% that goes far. So before we break all this down, let's go over why goal setting is so important. Goals can be broken down into intrinsic and extrinsic goals. Extrinsic goals are pretty self explanatory. They are centered around external rewards like money, recognition. Intrinsic goals are meant to fulfill internal desires. Like examples include personal growth. I mean, you guys are already winning because you're listening to this podcast or you're a coaching client of mine. Another example is altruism. That internal desire leading to a goal is an example of an intrinsic goal. Now, as expected, studies have shown that those who pursue intrinsic goals are more satisfied and motivated in the long term compared to those who focus primarily on extrinsic goals. And I've been around those people. I'm still around some of those people who are driven by external factors through, again, a multitude of reasons. It doesn't make anyone a bad person. I'm just saying that their drive may not be intrinsic, it may be extrinsic, and they may be killing it in those extrinsic goals. Like they're making the money, they're getting the public recognition, but they're not happy. There's a temporary boost of confidence, maybe a transient boost of contentment or happiness, but they're also struggling with anxiety, depression, maybe lack of self worth, relationship and communication challenges, and truly finding sustainable contentment. All of this supporting the studies. These studies have also shown that people who set goals aligned with their intrinsic values experience a greater sense of purpose. So, personalized goals provide structure, and that helps your mental health, and that helps contentment and happiness. Goal setting also reduces stress because you just aren't going around willy nilly without direction. It gives you a sense of control. Who doesn't like control? And it gives your plan a sense of achievement when you do achieve that goal. You feel less overwhelmed because you have something written out, kind of a game plan to follow. Goal setting, this is my favorite benefit, also increases resilience. Now, let me spell out resilience because sometimes we hear these beautiful, powerful words and we have an overarching understanding, but we truly just don't know what it means. Like it doesn't provoke a feeling. Resilience is the capacity to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties. This is your grit. Setting your goals and having clear objectives helps develop that grit and allows you to persevere through the obstacles in order to reach success. If you think that your plan is not going to be met with obstacles, you are setting yourself up for failure. So, by having clear objectives, by making an appropriate plan, you develop that resilience and that grit to move past the hardships and continue going forward. Now you know why goal setting is important and all the benefits. So when you're sitting down to set your goals, it's important to follow this format. You need to know the 3 ABCs of goal setting. A, the goal needs to be achievable. B, the goal needs to be believable. And 3, you need to be committed to that goal. A, achievable, B, believable, C, committed. Effective goals must have the features of these ABCs. All right. We got that out of the way. Let's switch to my dorkiness because I'm a science geek at heart. I was a physiology major and a psychology major in college. Obviously, I went to medical school. I love learning about neuroscience and human psychology and how it affects not only disease and prevention of disease, but really how it affects our day to day. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm coaching. That's why I'm doing this podcast for you guys. So let's go into how effective goal setting physiologically affects our brain. Like what's chemically going on? What's being activated? Now, before you forward this, before you say to yourself, Flora, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Well, telling people what to do doesn't work. Like me telling you, follow these steps blindly and make all your dreams come true, I promise you is not going to work. I mean, when's the last time someone else dictated your actions you happily obliged? Not understanding the hows, the whys, your purpose, the details, the rationales will lead to failure. So learn to dig a little deep and build that foundation so you can set yourself up for success. All right, listen closely because understanding the science will bring you closer into achieving your goals for 2025. You are going to find this fascinating, I hope, because I was geeking out about this. There are studies showing that appropriate goal setting actually boosts your blood pressure a little bit. Not in a bad way, not in a way where you develop hypertension. I'm talking about a similar way to how exercise boosts our blood pressure and that high feeling, that adrenaline rush that we get after a good workout. That boost makes us ready and gets us excited to not only achieve the goal, but to plan it out and find your purpose and why you are wanting to achieve that goal. Now, if your goal is not attainable, if it's too challenging, there is no spike. There is no let's fucking do this type reaction. So let me give you an example. Let's say your goal for 2025 is to improve your health and wellness. Okay, that sounds good, right? Who doesn't want to feel better and live longer? But did you feel it? Did you feel that like, let's do this type reaction? I mean, say this goal out loud for me. Again, in 2025, I want to improve my health and wellness. I mean, that sounds nice, right? But there's no adrenaline rush. So let's say, for example, you have an awesome mindset coach on your side. Let's say that mindset coach knows the secret of goal setting, and she tells you, okay, friend, we need to make smaller goals. We need to be a little more specific in order to achieve your larger 2025 goal of improving your health and wellness. So we decide to focus on your fitness. Okay, well, how are we going to do this? Fitness sounds like a good place to start. We are going to continue to break that fitness goal into smaller categories. So let's break it down into 3 smaller categories. Number 1, not being sedentary. Number 2, getting cardio in. And number 3, developing a strength training routine. Okay, that still sounds like a lot. Let's break it down even more. You decide not being sedentary sounds like an easier goal to achieve. Okay, let's continue breaking it down into small bite-sized pieces. What does not being sedentary mean? How can we verbalize it so it's something that we can measure? All right, with the help of your amazing mindset coach, you learn that clinically, not being sedentary means getting more than 5,000 steps a day and not sitting for longer than 90 minutes at a time. Okay, we can break that down even more. Let's say we pick one of those action items. Say you narrow it down to, I am going to get more than 5,000 steps a day. All right, that's more specific. Now we are getting somewhere. So let's restate your goal. My goal for 2025 is to get 5,000 steps or more a day. I know this doesn't sound as sexy as lose 100 pounds in 3 months, but the goal is more specific. The goal of trying to get 5,000 steps or more a day makes it more attainable than my 2025 goal is to improve my health and wellness. That's so broad. And there are obviously so many more steps to support that broad goal of improving your health and wellness, like progressively adding on cardio, strength training. Maybe that just takes the entire year of 2025. Have you achieved the improvement of health and wellness? Absolutely. Are you done? No, because we got nutrition to work on maybe in 2026. But see, I hope you're recognizing how this goes, that breaking it up into small, super like nibble sized pieces is what helps make a goal achievable, measurable, attainable, and something that you can commit to. Remember our ABCs: achievable, believable, and committed. Getting more than 5,000 steps a day in the year 2025 is attainable, believable, and something that I think you could commit to. Now, following that ABC pattern gets our blood going, right? Like that gets us motivated. That gets us excited. So, with the help of your coach, now it is the time to make a specific plan on how to achieve this and then make backup plans and et cetera, et cetera. So, let's go back to the science. How does a goal that is attainable, believable, and committed get us motivated? Like we feel it, but what's actually happening in our brains? Again, geeky moment. There are extensive studies that show activities in certain parts of our brain will pump up our motivation, especially when it comes to goal setting and achieving. So they've done studies showing the activity in the brain of a specific part of our brain, the medial prefrontal cortex, let's say MPFC. The activation of this part of the brain deals with goal setting. So, MPFC activation allows us to think through our goal setting plan. So, we're just not going into 2025 with the goal of, I'm going to get more than 5,000 steps. Okay, well, how? What's the plan? That's where the MPFC comes into play. That is the motivating part of our brain. If the goal seems too broad or too far into the future, the activation of the MPFC is actually lowered. So we let go of those goals pretty quickly. We get bored because we're not motivated. That's the 80 to 90% of people that we talked about in the beginning of the episode. That's the in 2025, I want to improve my health and wellness goal, where we lose interest quickly. So we got a specific goal. We are now motivated. Our MPFC is activated. Let's get a plan. There is a bundle of nerves in our brain called the reticular activating system, aka RAS. It plays a crucial role in regulation of a lot of different things, but specifically, we're talking about goal setting. So, like I said, the RAS has a lot of responsibilities. It processes a bunch of information and it regulates a bunch of stuff like arousal, interest, sleep wake transitions, attention, perception of something. So, when your RAS is activated, it increases your awareness of something that you are interested in at that moment. So let's take an example. You know, when you're looking for a new car and you are looking up all of this car related information and you decided, okay, I want this brand, this color, these specs. And then all of a sudden, you see that same car everywhere around you. Everyone's driving that car that you want. Why? It's because your RAS is activated. You're starting to register more information about the car because it is a now interest of yours. Otherwise, normally your brain would filter out that information, right? Because it's not important to you right now. But because you're in the car buying business right now, you are going to start seeing that car everywhere. Okay, so how does RAS relate to goal setting? If you are writing your goals down or verbalizing them over and over again to yourself or to your partner, to your coach, it triggers your RAS. The process of writing and verbalizing your goals specifically activates your RAS to ensure that you go for it. Also, imagining your goals also activates your RAS. So, studies have shown that people who practice visualization, like you visualize your goals, not only the end point, right? We're not only visualizing a better health and wellness version of yourself, we're visualizing doing the steps, we're visualizing planning the steps, planning those actions. That will activate your RAS and it'll promote effective goal setting. So that RAS activation helps focus our mind to attend to only those pieces of information as we're filtering all the stuff around us because it's related to your goal and to the steps to achieve that goal. I think this was also really fascinating. Neurologists working on the science of goal setting have proved that the brain can't really distinguish between reality and imagined reality. So when we give ourselves a visual picture of how to achieve the goal and the steps we're going to take to achieve a goal, the mind starts believing it as it being real, which then in turn circles back into your motivating factor. So let's visualize the broad goal of in 2025, my goal is to improve my health and wellness versus let's visualize in 2025, my goal is to get more than 5,000 steps per day. Can you write that down? Can you verbalize that to somebody? Can you visualize getting more than 5,000 steps per day? Can you visualize planning how to get more than 5,000 steps a day? When are you going to do it? For how long? What days? What are you going to wear? What water bottle are you going to use? Are you going to go outside? Are you going to be inside? Are you going to purchase a walking pad? All of these things, your brain starts firing. Congrats. You just activated your RAS system. You got that MPFC working. Let's keep going. We've set our goal that meets the ABCs, attainable, believable, and committed. You've narrowed your goal to something very specific. You've activated your MPFC. You've said it out loud or written it down. That triggered your RAS. All right. We got the juices flowing. We got the let's fucking do this attitude going. Let's move to the action plan now. It's imperative that you develop a specific action plan, steps and strategies to implement your goal. You need to also, on the flip side, identify obstacles and solutions to those obstacles because life is gonna keep life and no matter what, no matter how good your intentions are. Like I am going to wake up every day at 5:45 in the morning and I'm going to get 30 minutes of walking in before I have to get ready for work. If it's too cold outside, I'm going to go actually downstairs to the walking pad and I'm going to get my steps in there while I'm watching or listening to something, while I'm drinking from this water bottle, while I'm utilizing these workout clothes. Again, you have to get into the nitty gritty. So specific. How many days a week are you going to start off walking 5,000 steps a day? Are you going to do that 7 days a week? Probably not if you haven't already done that or if you're not used to it. What are you going to do right now to make that teeny tiny nibble of a goal attainable? So, for example, if you are someone that's used to sitting at a desk and working at that desk 10 plus hours a day, having a goal of achieving 5,000 steps a day for 7 days a week is a pretty large chunk to take on. I would urge you to think again. However, getting 5,000 steps once a week for 8 weeks, it's a small goal, but it's a goal. I want you to go for that. Make it teeny tiny. Again, let's move forward. Look at your day. What one day out of the week are you going to schedule in getting 5,000 steps a day? Are you going to block it off? That is going to be a non-negotiable. Plan where you'll be getting those 5,000 steps. Plan how. What are you going to wear? Are you going to shower before or afterwards? Are you going to take a specific water bottle with you? How are you going to keep track? Oh, this is getting juicy. Are you going to mark it off on a calendar? Are you going to have an accountability buddy? And did you block off time to check in with that progress? Are you going to check in once a week, once a month, daily? And this is the best one. What is your backup plan? Say you plan to walk outside and it starts raining. Say you plan to walk on your walking pad and your power goes out. It's happened to me before. What are you going to do? What if it's snowing, too cold, it's raining, you got a last minute meeting add on that took priority? Are you going to do it on a different day? Are you going to block it off on a different time? Do you have that planned out? You have to get into the nitty-gritty. Otherwise, life is going to take over and you're going to lose control. And that is not what we're here for. After all that is spelled out, you got your brain juices going, everything is activated, your brain is firing off, you got a plan, you got the specifics, you know when you're going to be checking in with yourself, you know when you've achieved positive progress, you got to build on that. That's where an accountability partner is crucial. So crucial. I have hired multiple coaches to help keep me on track for my various goals. It really does help to have an objective person on the other side that's on your side, ensuring that you're reaching your mini goals while challenging yourself as you navigate building and adding on top of those goals. And because I am so invested in making sure that you achieve your goals for 2025, if you have listened to this podcast episode, I am going to give you a special secret deal. I'm going to give you $100 off of my Scratch the Surface package so we can utilize those 6 sessions towards goal setting, planning, and achieving. Those are 6 one-on-one 60-minute sessions with yours truly. I do not outsource my coaching. It's just me. $100 off. I want you to email me florasinhamd@gmail.com with the code Beyond Goals. BEYONDGOALS. Beyond Goals. That is $100 off of your goal setting coaching package. I'm only taking a limited number of people with this specific discount code. So I want you to act fast. Email me, florasinhamd@gmail.com with the code Beyond Goals for $100 off of the Scratch the Surface, which is 6 sessions, and we'll send you information. That's it for today, my friends. Happy goal setting. I cannot wait to hear about your goals. DM me on Instagram, please. I want to hear what you guys are wanting to work on in 2025, and that way I can help you along the way. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you so much for joining and spending your precious time here with me. As someone who prioritizes her energy, I am so grateful that you chose to spend yours here. To help me help you, please take an extra 30 seconds of your time to rate and review the podcast on your listening platform. For more tips and a behind-the-scenes look into my life, follow me on Instagram at Dr. Flora Sinha. That's Dr. Flora Sinha. Finally, connecting with you truly fills my cup. So DM me on Instagram, email me at florasinhamd@gmail.com, repost if you love this episode. I love hearing from you. I am so grateful for you and cannot wait to be back for the next episode. Bye.